Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. We have a congratulatory message to the president in front of the papers. Tita Security Services Nigeria Limited, the strategist and performer, congratulates Mr. President on hitting the one-year mark. Tinubu Louds Marking Day opens 76.67-kilometer Alawa-Akala Road. 30,000 successful applications in for student loan. 9.5 million people visit portal in 1 week. Security has improved under Tinubu, says ex-UK envoy. Court to sentence Donald Trump for felony July 11th. What stories do we have in The Nation? Who's ready to go?
All right, so of course I'm going to take the story about the new road. This is a road linking Isheyin, Fakpote, Ogbomoso Road, and it's been named after the former governor of Oyo State, Adebayo Alao Akala. This was done yesterday. The president, represented by the vice president, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, the governor of Kwara State, and many other high-ranking politicians came to applaud. They came and they applauded Seyi Makinde for the good work of providing infrastructure within Oyo State, and they also mentioned that it is achieving infrastructural growth is collaborative, and Oyo is not a place where that lacks hospitality. It's a pace setter. They just spoke a lot about Oyo, and they spoke about the fact that the reason it is being named after the former governor was to acknowledge his contributions to the state. Governor Seyi Makinde was on the receiving end of a lot of positive accolades, and I think it is good for the state. Particularly, I just wanted to take the story because it is close to home. So,
and you've done that.
I have a former British diplomat, Mr. David Roberts, who has praised the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration for improved security situation in the country. He says he commended the efforts of the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, whose strategies and advice, he says, has brought about the lowering of insecurity. So, according to him, he says the giant of Africa went from being the third most terrorized country in the world under President Goodluck Jonathan to becoming the second most insecure nation on earth under President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 and 2016, while holding the fourth position from 2017 to 2020. But it said Nigeria made significant progress last year, scoring 8.065, a figure it improved upon this year by scoring 7.575, and pointed out that the performance ought to be positively projected to rebrand Nigeria. He says that the GTI, that's the comments of the GTI, that terror killings that occur now in Nigeria, mostly between rival terror groups and bandits, explaining that the infighting among non-state actors meant that Nigerian military has been able to infiltrate them and turn them on each other. He says a lot of positive things. He talked about the Abuja-Kaduna road. There hasn't been an incident on that road in 2020, so far in 2024. So he says that this is a good thing, but we're not talking about it enough. We're not hearing about it enough. So, yeah, we're doing better on insecurity.
All right.
Okay, so I have the story of 30,000 successful application in for student loan. They said 30,000 young Nigerians have successfully applied to obtain the student loan, an initiative of the Tinubu administration. The portal, which was opened 1 week ago, has been visited by 9.5 million people, while 60,000 have partially registered for the scheme. The loan fund, Akitunde Sawyer, spoke on progress so far, that the scheme, which is a cardinal campaign promise of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is designed to provide all the funds for the students so that they'll be able to concentrate and be able to access these loans. And then he said, we are pleased to report that over 90% of the federal institutions of higher learning have submitted their students' data to NEL Fund. However, we urge the remaining 2 federal universities and 5 federal polytechnics to expedite the process to ensure that all eligible students can access the funds, financial support. He said that the 60,000 applicants who have submitted their own, It's only 30,000 that have been successful, but not that the 30,000, they've not yet given them, they've not disbursed the funds to them.
To them yet?
Yeah, yet.
Okay.
So
the
let's see how
federal
that
government,
goes.
I had this, took a story inside the papers. The federal government has said it had trained 10,000 teachers and educators in preparation for the takeoff of 37 smart schools built across the country. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, was the one who announced this at the inauguration of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Digital Resource Center, DRC, yesterday in Abuja. And it said that the federal government had established 37 smart schools in different parts of the country, one per state, and the FCT to boost information communication technology, that's the ICT. Then inaugurating the UBEC Resource Center, the Minister for Education has said that it was designed to enhance the provision of smart teaching and learning and support implementation of smart education in Nigeria. He said 10,000 teachers and educators have received various forms of training at the center in preparation for the full takeoff of the 37 smart schools. They also said the center is second to none in the world. There cannot be a better time to develop digital technology in education than now. And, you know, talked about the current administration that's building, also planning to go into vocational schools across the country as well. So while we're doing tech, we're also doing vocations for people who cannot access, you know, yes, can also focus on their vocations. And for me, vocation is the way of the world. It's about your skill set, basically. So let's move on now to the Punch. I'll take the headlines and we'll take a short break. 336 state institutions listed as 60,000 register state students to be onboarded in 3 weeks. Applications received from 90% of federal schools. Tinubu mulls new executive orders on tax, fiscal reforms. Emirate tussle, Kano governor meets Ribadu Sanusi, makes first appointment. Trump guilty in hush money trial, faces sentences in July. LG funds, federal government states begin legal fireworks, June 13. Lasema blames occupants as 4-story building collapses in Lagos. IPOP sit at home. Governors react as 2 soldiers killed and businesses grounded. We'll be taking a breather here. When we come back, we continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.